So welcome you all for Tungulanal classes. We completed the chapter wave optics. So after this, today class will start dual nature of matter and radiation. So next new chapter is dual nature of matter and radiation. Another important and interesting chapter. So till now in wave optics, what we have studied is, so wave optics, we studied interference and diffraction or diffraction. Actually one more property also there, that is of polarization. Actually the interference and diffraction successfully explained by Huygens wave theory, which concluded that as per this Huygens wave theory, the nature of the electron, the nature of the light is wave nature. What is the conclusion of these two? So light is a wave nature. Light is transverse wave. Light is which wave? Transverse wave. And what is the major drawback with the Huygens theory is, so Huygens has told that, so complete universe is filled with one hypothetical medium. That medium name is called as ether medium. For the propagation of this transverse wave, a medium is required. That medium name is called as ether medium. Okay, Nara? So what is that medium name? Is of ether. After that, so, but what is the major drawback with the Huygens theory? He could not prove the existence of ether. The ether medium existence could not proved by this Huygens theory. And one more drawback is, it could not explain polarization. So polarization could not explain. Existence of ether medium and polarization could not explained by Huygens wave theory. So then one more theory came, so that name is called as Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. So as per this Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, light is a electromagnetic wave. What is the nature of light? Light is a electromagnetic wave. So which can able to travel through medium and also through in free space also. Electromagnetic wave. So in this way, the problem of existence of ether is solved. That light can also travel through vacuum. Travel through which one? Through vacuum. Okay, Nara? So one of the problem is solved with this. So electromagnetic wave theory, so it succeeded to explain polarization also, and also the existence of ether. Ether is not required. Generally electromagnetic wave will have time varying electric field and magnetic field, which will vibrate mutually perpendicular to each other. Regarding this electromagnetic wave properties, we will study the chapter electromagnetic waves. So that is the last chapter for us to discuss. So there we will discuss in detail regarding these properties of, so this electromagnetic theory. And also, and according to the Maxwell's, he has given, so Maxwell's electromagnetic wave equation. So Maxwell's electromagnetic wave equations are given. Electromagnetic wave equations he has given. What are that equations? Which will related with both electricity and magnetism. So electricity and magnetism, before we thought that both are separated, but from the Maxwell's, so both are interrelated with each other. That relation between the electricity and magnetism will be given by this electromagnetic wave equation. That is also we will study, so in electromagnetic waves chapter. So this electromagnetic wave, the existence of electromagnetic wave. So electromagnetic wave experimentally So predicted, experimentally discovered in the year 1887 by the scientist Hertz. So this name is very important, and many times one more question also given. The experimental prediction of electromagnetic waves is given by Hertz. Okay, Nara? So from all these what we have studied, so that will gives us the support for the wave nature of light. The final conclusion is, so what is the conclusion of all these, which are either by Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory or experimental confirmation by Hertz by electromagnetic wave. The conclusion is what? Light is a wave nature. So light is which nature? Wave nature. The nature of light is wave nature. So till now okay now, up to here, so it will give you a strong support for the light wave nature of light. But at the same time, still there are some more discoveries are there. The discovery of electron by J.J. Thomson and specific charge of the electron by Millikan. So it lead very important information regarding the atomic structure. So that J.J. Thomson, before that what are the experimental studies? What is the meaning of electric discharge? Electric discharge. This experiment, this electric discharge will leads to many new information regarding the atomic structure. And this electric discharge, so we will have one glass tube, and with the two electrodes will be there. So one is called as cathode, other is called as anode. So these two electrodes, so when current is passing, and whenever the pressure inside this discharge tube, this name is called as discharge tube, when the pressure, so pressure value is 0.001 mm of mercury, when this low pressure, so mercury, what they observed, that time they observed that. So some research is conducting based on this electric discharge in a discharge tube. Whenever current is passing through the discharge tube at a low pressure, so they have seen some fluorescence, some color inside the glass tube. There will be some colors they have observed that. What is the reason for that colors to observe? Whenever electric field is applied, whenever the current is passing, some rays started moving, so from cathode to anode. The scientist named Crookes. So Crookes has named this rays as cathode rays. So what is that rays name? Cathode rays. Later in the year, so 1897, by the scientist J.J. Thomson, so when he discovered electron, so he discovered the electron. Electron discovered by J.J. Thomson by conducting experiments, and also according to Millikan, oil drop experiment, he calculated by applying electric field and magnetic field in mutually perpendicular direction. So which one? To this discharge tube, he calculated specific charge of the electron E by m. So whose accepted value now is 1.76 into 10 to the power of 11, so coulomb by kg. So and also calculated the charge on the electron charge value is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So electron discovered by the scientist J.J. Thomson, and for his discovery he has awarded with a Nobel Prize. But this is done in the year 1897. So this is all regarding in the year 1888. So when the research was conducted in between 1888 to 1897, so Crookes has given the information of the cathode rays, and later the J.J. Thomson has told that, and what is the specific charge of that cathode rays which are emitting in the discharge tube. That specific charge will fall very close to the specific charge of the electron. So then later J.J. Thomson concluded that, so that cathode rays are also nothing but fast moving electrons. What is the conclusion of this experiment is, whenever now actually this will be there, this glass tube filled with some gas. Whenever the current is passing through, whenever so two electrodes are connected, some potential difference. So then what happened? So this electric discharge, now what happened? Some of the fast moving rays are traveling from the cathode to anode. The scientist name J.J. Thomson, so given that name, that rays name as fast moving electrons. So what is the conclusion here? They observed that, so whenever the electric field is applied across the discharge tube, which gas is there inside, some spark is observed, and the color, some fluorescence is observed. The colors which are observed, that depends upon the, so which is the glass rod, cathode is using which rod. Based on the rod used for cathode, so colors are appearing. The colors are is going to be changing. For soda glass normal, it is appearing yellowish color. So colors are changing by changing this cathode electrode. So what is the conclusion is, whenever the current is applied to the cathode, some rays are traveling from cathode to anode. And at the same time they observed that same in the year same period only. So they also observed that some other scientists, so some metals are there, that metals whenever irradiated with some radiation, from this metal some electrons are emitting, some particles are emitting. That particles also having the specific charge which is in the order of 1.76. Okay, Nara, what happened from the metal surface? Here the radiation rays are emitting from the cathode to anode, because the cathode rays having negative charge, they will be accelerated towards anode. So okay now, here sorry, this is of negative, this is of positive. Like in the same manner, whenever there is some radiation incident on a metal surface, so then that time also that negatively charged particles are ejecting from the metal surface. Okay, Nara? So what is the conclusion from all this? Now we will come to know. So radiation, to show that radiation having dual nature, both particle nature and also wave nature. I told to you after this, so polarization, there is one more property of light is there, which is called as photoelectric effect. This photoelectric effect could not explained by, so Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory could not explain this photoelectric effect. What is photoelectric effect? We will come to know now. Okay, Nara? Then for explaining this Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, so Planck's quantum theory. Consider Planck's quantum theory succeeded to explain so photoelectric effect. What is Planck's quantum theory? According to this theory, so light is in the form of energy packets. The energy of the light is quantized, so light will travel in the form of energy packets. So that energy of one packet is called as what? A photon. The energy of that photon is given by E is equal to h mu. So light will travel in the form of energy packets. Those energy packets are called as what? A quantum. Those energy packets are called as quantum. So energy of one quantum is so photon. The energy of that photon value given by E is equal to h mu. So this Planck's quantum theory, where light will be propagated in the form of energy packets, succeeded to explain photoelectric effect. Are you getting it? Photoelectric effect could not explained by Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, succeeded to explain by Planck's quantum theory. So due to that reason, according to the Planck's quantum theory, light is a which nature? Particle nature, energy packets. So light will propagate in the form of energy packets. Those packets only called as a quantum. That energy of one quantum, okay, so will be equal to photon. Photon value is equal to E is equal to how much? H mu. Understood, Ara? So this complete chapter is dealing with the emission of electrons, photoelectric effect. Half of this chapter will discuss regarding the photoelectric effect, and remaining half of the chapter will discuss regarding de Broglie hypothesis. Already what are the content we are studying, this photoelectric effect and de Broglie hypothesis, you got it in chemistry first year. Photoelectric effect is not a new topic for you, already you studied, so in chemistry, and also de Broglie hypothesis also. So that's why this chapter is quite easy for you to go through. Okay, Nara? First let me consider free electrons in a metal. Free electrons in a metal. What is the meaning of free electrons in a metal? Our still now we completed the properties of light: reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction. Though polarization deleted, but that is also one of the property of light. So these 5 properties are completed. Now this chapter is based on the 6th property, that is a photoelectric effect. To explain that photoelectric effect, so till now we studied 3 theories of light. So Newton-Corpusculus theory, Huygens wave theory, and Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. I have not told Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, so that we will discuss in electromagnetic waves chapter. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory succeeded to explain polarization. So one is the last property, 6th property of light, photoelectric effect, that could not explained by Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. To explain that, so one more 4th theory came. That theory name is called as Planck's quantum theory. This chapter is based on Planck's quantum theory. Before discussing the photoelectric effect, what is the meaning of free electron? Because photoelectric effect is related with the emission of electrons. What is the meaning of free electrons in a metal? You know that metals are having more number of free electrons. What is the meaning of free electrons? The electrons in the outermost orbital are called as a free electrons. So on those electrons, what happen? If I consider a metal, so this is a nucleus, and around this nucleus electrons are revolving. The effect of nucleus on all electrons is not seen. Those electrons which are in the outermost orbital, the effect of nucleus is very less. So nucleus attraction on this electron is very less. That's why this electron will move freely. So in this metal, if I consider a metal of 1 atom, so that will be, this electron will move freely. So this electron is called as free electrons, or it is also called as a valency electron. This valency electron will free to move, so inside the metal. What is the meaning of valency electrons? You know, the free electrons. This electron only will play a very important role in case of the conduction. Now the question is, though this free electron is free, does this electron will come out from the metal surface? When this electron will try to come out from the metal surface, so what happens? The metal surface will acquire the positive charge. Why? Because initially the metal having neutral charge, same number of protons and electron. When one electron left means it will acquire the positive charge. Because of this positive charge, it will attract this electron back. So here, whenever the electron will try to escape from the metal surface, a barrier will develop. Due to these positive charges, a potential barrier will develop. That potential barrier will not allow electron to escape from the metal surface. So that's why, to overcome this potential barrier, this is called as PB. PB meaning is potential barrier. To overcome this potential barrier, what we needed? So electron energy is not sufficient to overcome this potential barrier. In order to overcome this potential barrier, we need to supply energy. So energy needed to supply to free electrons. Electron notation I will write like this: free electrons to come out from the metal surface. Are you getting it? What is the minimum amount of energy required? Can I write this energy name is minimum. So what is the minimum energy needed to supply to free electron to come out from the metal surface is called as work function. What is that name? Work function. This work function can be represented by the symbol phi naught. First definition of this chapter. So what is the meaning of work function? Work function is the minimum energy needed to supply to the free electron in order to come out from the metal surface. Why electron cannot able to come out from the metal surface? Because of the potential barrier. Potential barrier will not allow electron to come out from the metal surface. What is the energy that free electron having? So is not sufficient to cross this potential barrier. That's why to cross this potential barrier, an additional amount of energy needed to supply, or additional amount of work has to be done. Okay, that amount of work done, even you can also define this as the amount of work done, energy spent or work done. work done to liberate the electron, to liberate means eject, to liberate the electron from the surface of the metal, from the surface of the metal. This amount of the metal, this energy name is called as work function. Why we are calling only from the surface? If I want to remove the electron from the inner side, deep inside, I need to spend more energy. That's why it is very easy to eject the electron from the surface compared with the inside. So this is the amount of energy spent or amount of work done in order to lift the electron or liberate the electron from the free surface is called as work function. This work function value not same for all metals. It is going to be changed. It depends upon nature of the metal and also depends upon the impurities present on the surface of the metal. Actually, this work function value will be measured in terms of electron volt. Electron volt. Electron volt is the smallest unit of energy. In a nucleus and atomic physics, the smallest unit of energy will be of electron volt. Electron volt definition you know that now. Whenever a electron of charge E accelerated by a potential V, the amount of work done value given by that electron volt. Electron volt is the smallest unit of which one? Work function. All work function values are mentioned in terms of electron volt. 1 electron volt value is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. This value, this conversion is very important. 1 electron volt value will be equal to how much? 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. Is it okay, Nara? This one already you know this. So 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. If I want to calculate 1 joule value is equal to 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 electron volt. So this conversion is very important. Okay, Nara? Work function. First definition for 1 mark of this chapter. So what is work function? On what factors the work function value depends? Work function value depends upon nature of the metal and work function value depends upon which one? So it depends upon the impurities present on the metal surface. Actually there is one tabular column is there of work function in textbook that you can go through. So work function value phi naught is minimum. It is minimum for alkali metal cesium. So cesium, and whose value is order of 2.14 electron volt. Generally alkali metal. So 2A group metals are there na, that alkali metals having the work function value minimum. So for this cesium like the remaining what are the alkali metals are there. So that 2A group elements. So that it is very easy because when work function value minimum, so what happen? So you can easily remove the electron from the metal surface. So that's why this alkali metals by allowing a visible light to incident. So generally I told to you, I will tell you later. So work function value minimum for cesium and this maximum for, so phi naught is maximum for platinum, and whose value is around of, so 5.67 I think, 67 electron volt. That's why whenever the work function value more means, so to remove the electron from the metal surface is very difficult. So when work function value minimum means removing of electron from the metal surface is very easy. Are you getting us, students? Why we need to study work function now means that the sixth property of light, which is photoelectric effect, is dealing with which one? Removing of electron, ejection of electron. Photoelectric effect, the definition you know. So in order to remove the electron, what is the deciding factor? Work function. Now after completion of the work function, so based on, now what is the meaning of electron emission? Electron emission. So based on the type of energy we are supplying for the free electron to come out from the metal surface, so electron emission. What is the meaning of electron emission? Electron emission is the process of removing of electron or ejection of electrons. What is the definition for electron emission. Important question for 3 marks. Electron emission is the process of ejection of electrons from the metal surface, by supplying suitable amount of energy. This process name called as electron emission. What is that electron emission? It is a process. In this process, what we will do? We will supply the energy to the free electron, then that electrons will come out from the metal surface. That process name is called as electron emission. What is that process name? Electron emission. Based on the type of energy we are supplying, we can supply the energy in different forms. So based on these types of energy, we supplied types of electron emission. So types of electron emission. Actually, what is the question they will ask is, what is electron emission? Explain the types of electron emission. Which one? Explain the types of electron emission. So based on the energy supplied, the type of energy supplied to the electron, so electron emission is of 4 types. So one is of thermionic emission, The second one is the field emission. So next one is the secondary emission. The last one is the photoelectric emission. This one only we want. Photoelectric emission. Electron emission definition understood now? Thermionic. IONIC. Thermionic emission. What is electron emission? Process of ejection of electron from the metal surface by supplying suitable amount of energy. So, which type of energy we are supplying? Energy supplied in which form? It may be a heat energy, or it may be a kinetic energy, or it may be electric energy, okay, or it may be a photon energy. So based on the energy which you are supplying to electron emission is of how many types? 4 types. What they are? Thermionic emission, field emission, secondary emission, photoelectric emission. So this class today we will discuss in detail regarding this emission. Okay, Nara? So important question for 3 marks. What is the meaning of thermionic emission? Thermionic emission. In this thermionic emission, so metal surface, from which surface you want to eject the electron, so that metal surface will be heated. So it is getting it will be heated now. So it is the process of, I will write the process of ejection of electrons from the surface of the metal, by heating the metal surface or metal. Means from which material you want to eject the electron, so that material will be heated. Now because of the heating, the thermal energy will be given to the electron which are on the surface. So after taking the suitable amount of energy, the electrons are ejected. What are the electrons which are ejected in this process are called as thermionic electrons or thermal. So we can also call it as thermal electrons. Those electrons which are emitted in this process is called as thermal electrons. Understood, Ara? So we are supplying energy to the electron in this process in the form of heat. So, when you supply the thermal energy suitably, then what happens? Electrons are ejected from the metal surface. So, this process of emission of electron by heating the metal or by supplying heat is called as a thermionic emission, and those emitted electrons are called as thermal electrons or thermionic electrons also. We can also call them as thermionic electrons. Okay, Nara? So, this is the first one, thermionic emission. The second one is, what is the meaning of field emission? Not field emission. So, field emission. In the field emission is a process of ejection of electron from the surface of the metal by applying strong electric field to which one? To the metal surface. To the metal surface. The metal surface will be exposed to strong electric field. From which material you want to remove the electron, a strong electric field is applied. Because of this electric field, now what happens? Electrons will get the energy which are there on the free surface. Now this is positive charge, this is negative charge. Now free electrons will be ejected because of the force due to electric field. Force due to which one? Electric field. So this emission is called as field emission. But in order to eject the electron, electric field should be stronger. That is order of 10 power 8 volt by meter. That should be order of 10 power 8 volt by meter. Applying this much strong electric field will lead the electron to come out from the metal surface. This type of emission is called as what? A field emission. What is that emission name? It's called as field emission. In field emission, what we need to do? We need to apply the strong electric field to the metal surface. Then electrons are ejected from the metal surface. That emitted electron, so that electric field should be order of 10 power 8. Then only the electrons are ejected. So after completion of this, so next one is, what is the third one? What is the meaning of secondary emission? Which one? So secondary emission. Secondary emission is the process of ejection of electron from the surface of the metal by bombarding the metal surface with a fast moving electrons. Understood, Ara? The process of ejection of electron from the metal surface from the surface of the metal by bombarding or bombarding the metal surface with the fast moving electrons. Now what we'll do? So this is my metal surface. Now fast moving electron. So this electron is called as primary electron, which is fast moving. So fastly moving primary electron. When this electron will come and collide with the metal surface, the kinetic energy of the electrons will be transferred to electrons which are on the surface, then electrons are ejected. The ejected electrons are the secondary electrons, and this emission is called as secondary emission. In this, what happens? The fast moving electron is heated with which one? Is heated with a metal surface. During this process, the kinetic energy of the fast moving electrons transferred to the electrons which are on the free surface. After transferring, the electrons which are on the free surface will acquire a required amount of energy, then electrons are ejected. So this process is called as secondary emission. Are you getting, Ara? In secondary emission, what we need to do? Fast moving electron is heated with the metal surface. Then what happens? Electrons are ejected from the metal surface. So this is called as which emission? Secondary emission. So what is the last one is given by, which is the last emission? So that is photoelectric emission. Very, very, very important for us. Photoelectric emission. So what is photoelectric emission. Photoelectric emission is the process of ejection of electron from the metal surface by allowing radiation of suitable frequency on metal surface. On which surface? Metal surface. In this process, what we will do, and this is very important for us, our complete remaining half of the chapter is based on this photoelectric emission only. In this photoelectric emission, our metal surface will be irradiated, is allowed to incident the radiation of suitable frequency. So whenever a radiation of suitable frequency, so incident on the metal surface, that radiation is the form of energy. That energy given to which one? Electrons. After taking that, electrons will come out. That electrons which are emitted, so in this process are called as photoelectrons. What are that electrons name? Photoelectrons. And this effect is called as photoelectric effect. So what is the meaning of photoelectric effect? The photoelectric effect, so now we will discuss that. Before telling this photoelectric effect, so what is the photoelectric emission? Once again check. In this photoelectric emission, what we will do? We will allow radiation of suitable frequency. All radiation not capable to eject the electron. In order to eject the electron, the radiation of which one? Suitable frequency should incident on the metal surface. Whenever a radiation of suitable frequency incident on the metal surface, electrons are ejected from the metal surface. What is that process name called as? Photoelectric emission. That ejected electrons are called as photoelectrons. Which electrons? Photoelectrons. Understood, Ara? Till now understood? What are the types of electron emission? Thermionic emission, field emission, secondary emission, and photoelectric emission. Photoelectric emission is very important for us. Okay. So what is the meaning of photoelectric effect? Just I will start introduction for this photoelectric effect. Then remaining will continue tomorrow class. So who discovered this photoelectric effect? Okay, Ram. So regarding this photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Definition same. Photoelectric effect is the phenomena. It is the phenomena of ejection of electrons. Once again writing the same. Ejection of electron from the surface of the metal. From the surface of the metal. Surface of the metal. When radiation of suitable frequency incident on the metal surface. Whenever a radiation of suitable frequency, so incident on the metal surface, electrons are ejected from the metal surface. This effect is called as what? Photoelectric effect. The photoelectric effect discovered by the scientists in 1887 by the scientist Hertz. So already I told you the name. Even this question very important. Photoelectric effect accidentally, not wantedly. So when Hertz is performing in order to predict the existence of electromagnetic waves. So there is one Hertz experiment will be there. In that experiment, so he is doing an experiment for producing electromagnetic waves. So during that time, accidentally he observed this effect. So that is in 1887 by the scientist Hertz. Dokenara. So that is in the year 1887. From the year 1886 to so nearly of 1891. So there are two other scientists are there. So their names are Lenard and Halbach. Lenard and Halbach. So these are the Hallward observations. So these are the two scientists. So these two scientists, they have studied. So this observed this photoelectric effect. They made still some more observation. Accidentally observed by the scientist Hertz, but further observations are continued by this Lenard and Hallward observation. So Lenard and Hallward observations are very important question for 3 marks. So that question tomorrow we'll discuss. Okay, Nara? So that's it for today class. Okay, so thank you.